the more childlike the expression of glee is on their face. This morning I did something that I don't usually do, which is to hold the cup to my mouth and nose and breathe it in, but I didn't take a sip. This is rare. Usually I guzzle it as if it has the elixir of life in it, which it kind of does. This morning I just held it up and wanted the sensation of coffee, which is something a friend of mine said once in one of those cheap motels where you have the coffee maker, but it's not really coffee that comes out of the machine. It's just something like coffee. So this friend said, I just want the sensation of coffee. I wanted that today. It felt great, just having the sensation of coffee. My morning coffee routine is quirky, maybe even eccentric, like someone who only walks down the east side of streets, or who has to carry an umbrella in their left hand on odd number days and in their right hand on even numbered days. This is kind of quirky like that. I usually have cold coffee in the morning. What's unusual about that? Oh, well, I'll tell you, because I don't keep it in the refrigerator. I just, whatever's left over from the day before, from the pot, I pour into a cup or a mug or some kind of drinking vessel. And since I don't use milk or sugar in it, it doesn't fester. It's just coffee, being coffee overnight. And then I drink it in the morning. And that way I don't have to do things like break the carafe, which a house guest once did. The house guest was my father. I don't have to walk into a wall. I don't have to fall down a couple of stairs to the landing instead of hitting all the stairs to the landing, turning the corner and going down the next set of stairs. I can just have not only the sensation of coffee, but the powerful hit of caffeine. Plus, morning coffee does a really good job with that AM BM. People didn't do a lot of espresso past the 50s. You know, there was the beatnik period, the beat generation, I guess 50s and 60s. But it wasn't this widespread thing outside of certain areas, like, say, the Pacific Northwest, California. New York City and Greenwich Village had a street corner, an intersection, McDougal Street and Bleecker, that had a little cafe on each corner that would serve espresso, cappuccino, what have you. Then at some point in the 90s, the thing became latte. People called it latte, which in Italian means milk. I have a friend who has Italian ancestry, and she would say, latte means milk. Why do people say latte? It means milk. I found this kind of cute, because I used to call it a latte as well. And the two of us had a friend who had lived in Seattle a while, and she called it latte. And the way that the orders were done was, well, now Starbucks is everywhere, so people have had a chance to experience the odd terminology, the particular language used around this phenomenon. Now, what happened in New York City was that independent little espresso places were opening up all over. One such place in Greenwich Village wasn't very good, but I wanted a caffeine pick-me-up, and I went into this place, and I was behind a couple of Italian tourists, a man and a woman, and the man was ordering tu caffè latte, and the person said latte, and he said with espresso, and the guy said, oh, so you want espresso? And he said, with milk. And the guy said, so you want a latte? And he said, with espresso. What is happening in this conversation is, I would like a cafe latte. I would like coffee with milk. You want milk with espresso. Oh, you want espresso? No, I want it with milk. So then you want milk. It's a cafe latte. Can't really do an Italian accent, but at least I know what I'm not saying, which is latte, because latte means milk. I've really got to talk to you about BM. Here's why. This is an expression from my childhood. People, give or take 5-10 years of my age, grew up hearing this. People who are in the medical profession say this. It's short for bowel movement. And people my age grew up hearing this all the time. So now parents talk to their kids and ask if they, if they're English-speaking parents or teaching their children English, did you make poop? Did you have a poop? My era heard, did you make BM? Did you have a BM? Do you need to have a BM? Do you think you'll feel better if you've had a BM? I talk about this with people my age, and you can see what's happening to my eyes. It makes me mortified. It makes them mortified. I talked to someone I've known for years who said, oh, that's exactly what my grandmother used to say to me. She would say, you're just hyperactive because you haven't had a BM. Now, I don't know why this makes us so upset. There are companies that have this, like IBM, haha, that's a sentence. There is some kind of airport services company called a BM. I think it's supposed to be ABM, but I see it as a BM. It's like I see it everywhere. There was a picture in a city newspaper somewhere that I saw in the last couple months where someone had a BM library, and it was the initials of the people. But I'm thinking, what kind of checkouts do you have? And I really want to know about how long you can check something out from the BM library. This is where my mind is today, and I kind of had to go there.